Hi there, folks. Simon here. This is a special event we've got for you today. This is part of the second 2022 Intermediate Invitational Tak Tournament. Now, these two competitors are Orfane and dopemedic. They are in Group 3. We had 4 groups in this tournament, and they're in Group 3, and they both tied for the top spot in their group to move on to the quarterfinals. Now, dopemedic was one of my picks for the top spot, actually. I picked him as maybe coming in first or second in this whole tournament. So we'll see how that turns out. Orfane surprising me with some excellent play this tournament and splitting his games against dopemedic in the group. But they will be going head-to-head in this tiebreaker match. It is a blitz tiebreaker match. Now, they already played their normal games together in their group, but now, in order to see who goes on, they have to play blitz. That means 3 minutes on the clock with a 5-second increment, playing on the standard 6x6 board that you can see here. And they will play 2 games, swapping colors, and whoever wins the 2 games moves on. Now, if they split both games, like they split their regular games, they will play another 2 blitz games. And that will basically continue until one person wins both games in one match. And that's how we're playing this blitz tournament. And this is going to be a good one, folks. So let's strap in and let's get ready for game 1 of Orfane versus dopemedic in this blitz tiebreaker match. I will also note that this game has 2 komi, like all of the games in this Intermediate Invitational Tak Tournament. That means that if the game ends with neither player making a road, 2 is added to black's flat count score. And that is a variant rule that we've added to sort of mitigate a little bit of the first player advantage. And yeah, so that rule is going to be used. We use komi in basically every tournament we run except for the beginner tournaments. And again, this is the intermediate. So here we go with game 1. All right, coming in hot, we've got adjacent corners here. dopemedic in white, Orfane in black. And we're seeing that Knights opening, and then an interesting counter to the Knights opening, playing up here offset, ready to switch gears into whatever direction white goes. White drops that capstone, saying, all right, that's fine, I'll drop the capstone here so you can't capture down onto it. But now black doesn't have to worry about playing these offset pieces and worrying about that capstone placement. Now black isolating white's capstone. Playing very quick here as they need to, because again, this is a blitz tournament. Black dropping that capstone up against the edge of the board here. I'm not quite sure that's going to be a great decision for him. White dropping that wall, ready to come down, capture onto the stack, liberate that captive. All right, we see black coming up, making that threat. Not threat, but making that continued line going in that horizontal direction. Black making a smash here. Exactly what I expected. As soon as that wall came down, I knew that black capstone was going to come left and smash it. White now can make a threat by placing here at F2. Instead, going to drop a wall, going to play defensive here. I think we'll see black wanting to capture onto this piece after placing at F5. White's got that wall. They're ready to come up onto B5, though, so white can play aggressively right now, not having to worry about this horizontal line doing much because he's got that wall ready to come up and ruin it. So white does play at F2. This is now a vertical threat. Black stops that, now makes their own horizontal threat. This is where white's wall comes up and smashes. Sorry, not smashes, but captures. Black comes left a little bit with a self-capture move. Little interesting. Not sure why exactly he went for that. Yeah, I'm not seeing a reason for that move. Maybe it was a misclick? I don't think so. So, he's going to be playing around that wall. White, however, does have momentum here. Placing at B3 is the threat. Black now places to stop that threat. White places now to continue the threat. Black probably going to come down with A5. Now white's wall is free to come down onto B4. and capture, if that's what he wants to do. He can also just place a flat at f5 and cut off black's road threat right there. Now, if black plays up here at b5, wanting to continue along this straight line here, white's going to take that wall stack and capture on day 4, able to liberate that captive and also make that tack threat in that horizontal direction. I think that's probably what white is going to do here, is bring that wall stack over. No, instead going to fortify this position with this citadel formation. Doesn't want black to be able to cut that off with the wall. I don't think that's a big worry at this point because of white's capstone placement and because of all the other pieces that white has in that area. I think that white is pretty secure. So now this is where I think we're going to see white's wall come left. Black brings that flat right. This is where things can get tricky. There's no immediate threat that white can make right now. White can place maybe at b2, maybe up here at b4. Gonna go for the b4, kind of get it close to black's eventual horizontal line that they're building. Makes a lot of sense. And black captures over. I think white's got to bring that wall right now. No, instead going to place a flat. Surprised by that move. Honestly, I expected the wall to come right, capture onto b4, and threaten to come down. I think we're going to see that on this turn now, is white's wall coming right. We do note that Orfane has been taking a lot less time on his moves. They're both playing very quickly as they have to, but we only have 5-second increment on these turns. And Orfane is just barely below 3 minutes, whereas dopemedic is close to that 2-minute mark. This is a tack threat for white. White can spread this wall stack down or spread it to the right and make a road. So black has to stop that by capturing here onto a4. That doesn't stop the threat. White can now bring that wall stack down and make the road. Congratulations to dopemedic for winning game 1 of this 2-game match. Now, if dopemedic does win as black, he does go on to the quarterfinals. If Orfane, however, wins as white on this next game, then they will play another 2-game match in this blitz time control. As you can see, that went by very quickly, and it's very easy to make mistakes and miss threats. And here we go with game 2. All right, we see wasting no time here, jumping right in. Oh, dopemedic playing the hug opening here. The hug being where you place that piece right next to your opponent. This is something that you don't see too often, but I think one of the reasons why dopemedic played it is because it's so uncommon that people don't really understand how to play against that hug opening. So we see white just continuing on, going for this vertical line. Black dropping that capstone, white immediately isolating the capstone and continuing for that vertical line. Black now has that hard cap, and that's going to be a brutal piece to deal with. White doesn't want black to get that stack, but just going to have to switch gears, go for the excuse me, go for the horizontal now instead of the vertical. Now what black is doing is they're building this line here so they can capture onto b3 and then go for that vertical threat up in that direction on the b line. And they want to be able to do that. Interesting. I did not expect black to leave behind the flat there, but it makes a lot of sense because if he had brought the whole stack over, then white would have just placed and renewed the vertical threat. Now black is able to continue going in this vertical direction, not making a threat right now, but can make one on this turn by placing it b6, and that's exactly what he does. Now white has to be on the defensive here and stop black's threat, and in doing so, he's going to have to ruin his own threat that he's building. Let's see. What's the play here? Does black place a flat? Does black capture upwards? If he does capture upwards, does he capture up with 3b3 plus 1, 2, or does he do 2b3 plus 1, 1? Now that's play tak notation, or portable tak notation. That's over here off the left. We have a video on that on Tak University that you can check out. But instead plays up at c6. Interesting. Gives white an opportunity to drop that capstone in a really powerful spot, a really strong position, blocking black's own threats. I'm sure he wasn't thinking about that at the time because it's easy to forget that your opponent hasn't played their capstone yet. Now we see white making a capture up in that direction. That was not a tak threat. So that capture was not forced. So this wasn't a tak threat. White did not need to capture up there, but it looks like they might be going for that vertical in another way. Now black drops a wall in a really great spot here. This is great because it can capture left or up to liberate those captives, and now has a great opportunity to capture left onto there. Maybe inviting a smash from the capstone, and if it does smash, wait, hold on. That had to have been a misclick. Okay, yes, that was a misclick. Drops a flat there, not a wall. Going this direction. Doesn't want to smash this because if he does smash this, white comes up with the capstone, or doesn't want to capture, sorry, with this wall, because white comes up with the capstone, smashes the wall, and then makes that threat in the vertical direction. Now he brings up, and now we see the smash, and now we might see black bring their capstone left and stop white from making this vertical threat and then continue their own horizontal. That's exactly what they do. That capstone comes right left here onto this. Now, white has the opportunity with this c4 flat to come down onto c3 and interrupt this threat. Instead, going to be building along. Now, black does have momentum here, but white does have the ability to cut this off. Black probably wants to play up here at e4. This gets in the way of white's horizontal threat, but also plays towards their own vertical threat at the same time, but instead plays below at f2. Maybe consolidating power on this lower end. Now we're probably going to see a flat here at c4, maybe a wall, but probably a flat. No, we're going to see the flat here at e2, making that connection before dropping anything over here. White probably wants to drop a flat here at c4 then to keep black from taking that spot on the next turn, and also to fulfill their line in this direction, going for that that horizontal line that they're going for. And also filling for this vertical threat at the same time. Now black is making a horizontal threat here. He's blocking this vertical line that white's building, but also making his own threat. Capturing up with c2 would be a road. All right, white taking his time here. We do see in this game it's a little bit different. White is lower on time, below that 2-minute mark, whereas dopemedic is just below that 2.5-minute mark. Ooh, and now we see white captures right. Black just places, says, fine, I'll make his threat another way. That's why he was playing down below and not above, so he could continue making these threats over and over again. We're likely going to see a placement again at f3, just continue placing, getting these flats on the board. That's really helpful. It's likely not going to go to flats on this game because it is a blitz match and it's very easy to miss roads on a blitz match. But flat count differential is something that you want to keep in mind in every game that you play. Now, black can place here at c3 and make a threat again, or can more consolidate his location, play over here at b2, or maybe drop a wall here even at c3, but decides to drop that flat, makes that threat. We may see white capture right with c2 onto d2. This would stop that immediate tak threat and also work towards white's vertical line. However, it would lead to e2 coming left and then making that threat, and then white would have to do some things here to get out of that, and that would be less than ideal. So I think e2 left is inevitable here. That's got to be the move that black makes. That makes a threat. White wouldn't be able to recapture onto this because that would leave this open and leave it for a road. So I think e2 left is got to be the move that black makes here. That would be a threat, and it would be a pretty brutal one. If white goes right with this stack to escape it and to stop the threat, black spreads right onto f2, and that's really close to a tenue, I'd say. Yeah, he does spread right. Now white's going to have to come down with c4 onto c3. Then black plays at c2. Threat yet again, coming down with that capstone onto b2. White cannot drop a wall here, has to drop, bring that stack down. Now black's probably going to play maybe a flat here at c3 to continue this threat. I don't expect a capture onto c2 with d2 because that would invite a wall from white, and black doesn't want that, wants to keep putting the pressure on. White, that was a very interesting move. I did not expect f1 at all. That is a very unexpected move. What is the play there? Oh, I see what the play is. So he plays at f1 so that on the next turn he can do f3 left, and that way he's making a threat in the vertical and the horizontal directions at the same time. He wants to set up that tenue. That's exactly what he's doing. f3 left would be tenue here, and that would win the game for black. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. That also does it. That's also tenue. Bringing the capstone right also is tenue. And that is the game. So well played to both players there, but especially congratulations to dopemedic for winning this Blitz tiebreaker match and going on to the quarterfinals of this Intermediate Invitational Tak Tournament. So well played to both players. Great tenue there at the end. There were a couple ways to do that. He chose the capstone throw as opposed to the f3 left move, but great play there from both guys. So a lot of fun to watch that game. Great fun to see this quick blitz play. We don't see a lot of it. It's really hard to play Tak blitz because of just how many different directions you can go, and the branching factor, if you want to use a fancy term, is very high in Tak. So that makes this particularly difficult to play and also to commentate for these blitz matches in Tak. So thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to check out the description below for all things Tak, especially the Tak Discord server, which is the community hub and where you can find all sorts of Tak resources like strategy guides and people to play with, whether it be right here on playtak.com or over in the Discord server playing asynchronously, or even finding people on our map to play in person. Maybe you've got somebody near you that plays some Tak and you can get together with them and play some Tak in person. That'd be great. So anyway, that is all for today. Thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day and happy Tak.